Alright, folks, so we're coming up to the 21st anniversary since the US invasion of Iraq, okay? Now, I have to be very careful how I'm wording this, so this video doesn't get taken off YouTube, and I can't get into too much detail, but I really want you guys to search deeper into this case. I'm going to talk about the mysterious death of UN weapons inspector David Kelly. I bet none of you has ever heard of this. Of course, they will cover up the story. There's a picture of David Kelly, okay? And this is just a couple days before his apparent suicide. So let me tell you what happened. So David Kelly is born in the UK, okay? He works for the United Nations as a weapon expert. He goes into various countries. He examines the state of their military, their technology, and their weapons. So throughout his lifetime, he has visited Iraq. It's been documented at least 36 times. And he has a very close tie with some of the world's top politicians. So back in 2003, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the time was Tony Blair, okay? And it is documented that he has met up with Tony Blair on multiple occasions, including right before the US invasion of Iraq, okay? And so every time they met, Tony Blair personally asked him. He asked David Kelly, does Saddam Hussein have nuclear weapons? Okay, David Kelly said no. And the next time they met, Tony Blair will keep asking the same question. Does Saddam Hussein have nuclear weapons? Every time David Kelly was questioned by Tony Blair, he said with 100% confidence that Saddam Hussein absolutely does not have nuclear weapons, nor does Iraq have the military technology or the capability to make nuclear weapons. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. Right after that, George Bush ordered the invasion of Iraq anyways. The moment the US troops entered Iraq from the Kuwait borders, millions of barrels of oil were being pumped out of Iraq. During the US's invasion in the spring of 2003 to its subsequent occupation, it is estimated that between 1.3 million to 2 million innocent Iraqi civilians were brutally murdered, including that infamous video that was leaked by WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. By the way, he's definitely going to die in the Belmarsh maximum security prison. I can't see a way for him to get out of there. Even if he manages to get out, he will be taken out at any moment, okay? And I can't show the video, obviously, but I'm sure many of you guys have seen this video when it first surfaced many years ago. It was a US pilot. He was operating a Black Hawk helicopter. There was 18 innocent Iraqi men that was just strolling along in the middle of the day. They were all civilians. They had no weapons. They showed no signs of hostility. And the pilot opened fire on the 18 civilians, unloading hundreds of rounds onto them. It was one of the most disturbing videos I have ever seen. And remember, that's just 18 lives out of between 1 to 2 million. God knows what really happened during all of the years that the US Army occupied Iraq. So right after the US Army captured Baghdad and overthrew the Saddam Hussein regime, David Kelly had requested to visit Baghdad once again. And he said that he wanted to check out the Iraqi weapons facility to see one more time if they actually had weapons of mass destruction. He had landed in Kuwait in May, right after the US capture of Baghdad. His visa was refused by the US government. He ended up flying back to the UK. And he requested once again to go to Baghdad in July. And just a couple days before he was bound to visit Iraq once again to check for the weapons of mass destruction, he was found dead by a tree a mile away from his house. Even the coroner concluded that the cut on his wrist was nowhere deep enough, and that the cause of death was highly suspicious. There was no blood anywhere to be found on his body except for a very slow cut on his wrist. So guess who appointed the committee to investigate David Kelly's death? It was Tony Blair. He ordered Brian Hutton to form the Hutton Committee to investigate this case. And it was very quickly concluded that David Kelly had apparently committed suicide. Even with all the medical experts and the coroners disagreeing with the case was quickly dismissed. By the way, it's been 21 years. The US has yet to find the weapons of mass destruction. I wonder how much George Bush and Tony Blair, I wonder how much sleep they get at nighttime. Or perhaps they're just not bothered at all by these kind of things. This is all just a normal everyday affair to them. Now, I did mention before, yes, there's a huge problem in the Middle East, in the Muslim world. But perhaps some of you guys can understand, why they have all of this rage, why are they committing all these crimes, why are they all going insane. Imagine this happening to your country. What if, imagine, let's say USA was a peaceful country. It barely has a military, has no nuclear capabilities. And let's say China and Russia's, their weapons, their technologies, their military was 10 times superior. What if China and Russia joined forces one day and said that the United States had weapons of mass destruction, and they would send their army over to invade and kill over 1 million Americans and occupy the Capitol Hill on Washington, D.C.? Imagine a Chinese pilot flying a Black Hawk helicopter, opening fire in the middle of the day, killing 18 innocent American civilians. Imagine how the American citizens would feel. I can go a lot deeper in this case, but I'm going to leave the video here. If you're interested, do some deep research on your own. To Sir David Kelly, I'm so sorry for everything that you had to go through, and I hope your soul may rest in peace.